What's up, guys? On Saturday 12th of June, you've got the Ring Card 3 event taking place in New York, Louis Armstrong Stadium. You've got Edgar Berlanga, who's got a record of 23 wins, 1 loss, 18 KOs, taking on Hamzah Sheeraz, who's got a record of 121, loss 0, 1 draw, 17 KOs. Before I talk about the main event, let's go over the undercard and the other co-main event, or it could be a main event in itself. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. So let's just go over the undercard and I'll just give you my thoughts on it. So you got David Morrell, who's got a record of 111, loss 1, 9 KOs, taking on the tough action fighter, Imam Kataev, who's got a record of 110, loss 0, 9 KOs. David Morrell is coming off a decision defeat against David Benavidez in his last fight. He's ranked number 8 by the Ring light heavyweight. And how do I see this fight going? I think it's going to be a great matchup. David Morrell is on a calls now to say, you know what, that loss to David Benavidez does not define him. And he wants to go in there, and he's going in there against Kataev, who's very tough as they come. But in general, I feel David Morrell does have that boxing IQ that he could keep it at bay and keep Imam Kataev at bay and just not really, use his Cuban boxing skills to outbox him and outgun him. And I think it's going to be a very, very interesting fight because Imam Kataev is going to be coming to win. Lets his hands go, puts a lot of pressure on all his opponents. So I feel it's going to be an action-packed fight. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how that goes. But if I have to go with someone, I'll have to go with David Morrell for that one. Next up, you've got Subriel Matisa. He's got a record of 122, lost to 22 KOs, challenging Alberto Puello for his WBC light welterweight title. And Puello's got a record of 124, lost 0, 10 KOs. How do I see this fight going? I think it's going to be a very, very good, interesting matchup. Subriel Matisa's, comes forward and lets his hands go, all-out action fighter. Puello's very, very good movement, Dominican Republic. He's got good movement, good skills, good fundamentals, stick to the jab well. Although his last couple of performances have gone by decision and people are questioning, did he really win these decisions? I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Now, Matias is, game as they come. Lost to Liam Parrow, but I feel like, he's got a point to prove. And going up in this weight class and challenging for the WBC title, he's going to be up for it. This one genuinely is a 50-50 fight in my eyes. For me, it just depends on which fighter turns up and who's going to be adapting that game plan. To say the least, I think it's going to be a great, great action-packed fight. But I can't pick a winner for this one. I'm really split. Next up, you're going to have William Zepeda, who's got a record of 133, lost 0, 27 KOs. Taking on Shakur Stevenson, who's got a record of 123, lost 0, 11 KOs. So, Shakur Stevenson's defending his title. WBC title, his lightweight title, and I think it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. Good clash of styles, but in general, I feel Shakur Stevenson should have a bit too much for William Zepeda. Now, Zepeda, is going to be coming in there. Yes, he throws a lot of combinations, attacks really well, puts the pressure on fighters. But I feel with everything that's going down and everyone's been talking and making a point about Shakur Stevenson and if he's really that good or if he's not. People are forgetting that, you know, Oscar Valdez, he's beaten some good names there. Shakur Stevenson has. And yes, William Zepeda is very, very aggressive and comes forward and lets his hands go. But I feel that, you know, he's going to be... It's a big fight for him because... It's a big fight for Shakur because it's on this stage that he's getting to prove a point, and he has been after William Zepeda for a long time. Yes, they were doing negotiating fights and it never went through, but, you know, Turkey Al Sheikh's come in and he's made this fight happen, you know, instantly. So credit to him for that. But if I have to go with someone, I'm picking Shakur Stevenson to do an absolute masterclass in this performance against William Zepeda. I feel he's got something to prove. And when he's got something to prove, similar to when he had fought Oscar Valdez, everyone was thinking he wouldn't do it. You know, he wouldn't beat Oscar Valdez, and look what he did to him. You know, and I just feel like even Jamel Herring's performance, you know, when everything's against Shakur Stevenson, he seems to pull it out of the bag. So I feel that he's got a point to prove, and I feel he'll be doing that on Saturday night. Next up, the main event. You've got Edgar Berlanga. He's got a record of 23 wins, 1 loss, 18 KOs. Taking on Hamzah Sheeraz, 21-0, 1 draw, 17 KOs. Hamzah Sheeraz is moving up to the super middleweight division. He's coming off a controversial draw with Carlos Adames in a WBC middleweight title fight in February, Riyadh. How do I see this fight going? Now, for me, I think it's going to be a very good fight, a very explosive fight. Both of them do hit very hard. Yes, taking into account Hamzah Sheeraz is gone into a new camp under a new trainer with Andy Lee, gone to Ireland. He's facing off against Edgar Berlanga, who's a very, very big super middleweight. Hamzah Sheeraz is going up in weight, and a lot of it's going to be one of them things that how can you pick someone like Hamzah Sheeraz? A lot of people might think, well, you know, how come anyone pick him in general because of the stats? But for me, I feel Hamzah Sheeraz, again, with the controversial draw that he got in Riyadh against Carlos Adames, he broke his hand in that fight, and it was the first time in general that he's broke his hand. He didn't know how to react in the fight, and he looked like he was gun shy in the fight. But in general, I think a fit Hamzah Sheeraz is going to give a lot of problems to Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga, don't get me wrong, a very powerful, big, explosive puncher. But I feel with Edgar Berlanga, when he steps forward, he steps forward and he lunges in most times when he's going to throw his combination or throw a hook or a power shot. He will lunge in, and I feel that Hamzah Sheeraz can capitalise on that with his long levers. He's got a longer reach and he's taller. I feel that he can actually dictate the pace of the fight, and I'm liking what I'm seeing with how he's performing at the moment with the showing in the training. You know, when he's throwing the pads, when he's on the pads with Andy Lee, if you notice, he's throwing a 1-2, and then he's stepping out and he's using his lever, the jab hand. He's using his jab to keep it at bay. So I feel like that's the sort of movement that he's going to do. Now, Edgar Berlanga stepping in and he's going to land shots. Yes, Edgar Berlanga hits very hard. Edgar Berlanga can put Hamzah Sheeraz on the back foot and, you know, throw them combinations. But I feel Hamzah Sheeraz has got something to prove. So has Edgar Berlanga, don't get me wrong. But I have to pick the Brit, and I'm going to go with Hamzah Sheeraz, and I'm hoping he does pull it off. But in general, yes, I feel on the tactic-wise, Edgar Berlanga does lunge in. And previously as well, when he lunged in, he was dropped earlier on in his career. And he did hit the canvas. But he got back up and he stopped the fight. You know, he stopped his opponent. But I just think in general, Hamzah Sheeraz can capitalise on Edgar Berlanga's willingness to step forward and engage. Yes, Hamzah Sheeraz also likes to engage in fights, but I think Andy Lee is going to tweak him up in such a way that, you know, you don't need to engage so much with these fighters. You can outbox them, because Hamzah Sheeraz has got a very good boxing IQ and good boxing brain, but he's one of them. He's very exciting to watch, and he's always in those exciting fights. But that's my point anyway. I think it's going to be a great night of boxing. And they're my predictions for the fights. Let me know what your thoughts are on the fights itself. How do you see it going? What can you see happening? Can you see Hamzah Sheeraz pulling off a win and beating Edgar Berlanga? First move to super middleweight. Can you see him defeating Edgar Berlanga? Or can you see Edgar Berlanga being too good for Hamzah Sheeraz and being a real test? Let me know what your thoughts are. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Comment down below. Hit the notification button. Hit the like button. Triple B Boxing TV. Thank you.